Hello, hello. We were waiting on Joe, but he's still not here, so we're going to start without him. His computer's updating, so he hopefully will join us here in a few minutes. So thank you for your patience. I know we're always late. We're always late.
Listen, we're always late. We're on time then, Kat. I keep telling you that.
We're late on time, yeah.
Yeah, if we're always late, then that means we're on time. Like
we're on time. All right, so happy Tuesday to all of you. Thank you for joining us. I am Kat, the nurse flipper. If you do not know, Rod, Picking and Punching, is my co-host, and we've got Cernoch's connection down below. Joe, Philly Flipper, will be joining us here, or Philly Picker. Picker. I always confuse them. Will be joining us here shortly. Picker. All right. So I'm gonna make Cernoch big. Let him introduce himself, and then we'll make Joe big when he gets here. They have both been on before. Their links to their channels. Oh, Cernoch, I linked you. I linked Ren. I linked reseller information that worked for you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make Cernoch big. Let him introduce himself. And then we will get to your question. I have too much stuff too, Elaine. I think most of us do. All right, here's Cernoch.
Hey guys. I'm Chris Cernoch from Cernoch's Connection, member of the Reseller Information Network. We go live every Tuesday from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. Red Cardinal Treasures right there. Put it in the link. So thank you so much. Appreciate that. I've been reselling for full-time reselling for probably 9 years now, I think. And but part-time reselling since I started my eBay store in 2001. So I've been reselling. I do a lot of clothing, vintage clothing, hats, shoes, boots, and then whatever I can find. I sell on eBay, Poshmark, on District, all the platforms on District. I used to do Whatnot, and then I do flea markets and stuff like that too. So yeah, I have a wealth of knowledge in vintage clothing, and hopefully I can answer some questions.
Perfect. Joe is here. Joe, I am making you big.
Okay.
There's Joe.
Joe's going to introduce himself. He snuck in here. Perfect timing though, because we haven't started questions. So here's Joe.
Hello, everyone. Kat and Rod, thanks for having me on again. I go by Philly Picker on YouTube and Instagram. I don't do much YouTube anymore, but I do have a reselling podcast that I do with two of my buddies, Death Pile Picker, Mike, and Dan in Demand. You can follow us over there. It's called Reseller Leftovers Podcast. And thanks again, Kat, for having me on.
Yeah, I'm happy to get you. It's been a little while. For both of you, I think it's been a little while since you guys have been on.
Yeah.
All right. So we have 2 super chats. I'm going to start off with those, and then we'll get to you guys' questions. Mike Metco Meetups. If you guys don't follow them, they are like an amazing resource for all the different reseller meetups that go on around the country. They are like the central place for information, which I think is very much needed because everybody's always asking us where the meetups are. So you guys can follow them over on Instagram. And then they started doing a podcast too. Rod and myself are going to be on, I think, next month sometime. So definitely check out is it the same on YouTube? I think it is. Same name on YouTube. They're starting to do the podcast. So check that out as well. And they said hi to Cat Rod guests, and Joe will get a chance to. We will let Joe talk. I promise. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do the whale. Here you go. And I do want to tell you guys, just because of the super chats, Gino made the majority of the super chats that you guys see. And he wasn't here last week. He wasn't feeling well. He is feeling better. I've been talking to him almost every day, checking on him to make sure he's doing okay. I was sick all last week as well. After the podcast, I was like, until Monday. So Gino's feeling better. So thank you guys for all the well wishes for him. And then we got another super chat from eBay guy. He said, "Hi, Cat and crew, from Jason and Gina in Michigan. Can't wait to connect with you guys and maybe even be a guest on your show." Yeah, we love having new people on. So message myself or Rod for sure. And we can definitely get you scheduled. What am I going to, I'm going to do my octopus early tonight. Here you go. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Alice wants to know, on a promoted listing, does eBay charge you for the total amount, including tax and shipping?
It should. I think that's true. Yes. Isn't it?
So I think it's the total amount of the transaction.
Mm-hmm.
Only if they actually click on it through the promotion. So if they find it organically on the site, like if they just search and they come across it without having it being up, like popped to the top, then you won't get charged any promotion fee. But if they do click on the actual link, then you will get charged for the total thing, just like how eBay charges you the fee on the shipping, tax, and the final price.
Yeah, and that's because sneaky people would charge $1 for an item and $50 for shipping. So you can thank all of those lovely people for
I remember
doing
those
that.
days. You go on eBay and you find that stuff all over the place.
$60 shipping.
Yep.
That was back when shipping was actually reasonable too.
Yeah.
Karen said, "Oh, this is a funny. Listen, do you sell baseball caps? And if so, how do you ship? Poly bags or what size boxes?" This is like.
Wait a minute. Is this like a trick question?
No. Listen, we have new people. They don't know sometimes. So.
All right.
And I know forever, I went head to head with people about this too.
And so for you guys, for those that don't know, Cernoch is a hat expert. He will tell you how to reshape hats, clean hats, put them back, rehab them. He actually has videos on YouTube showing how to do that. So,
yeah. Here's my rule on hats. Hats go in boxes, unless there's a few times that they may not go in boxes. If you have like a flimsy bucket hat, yes, you can send that in a poly mail. Okay. But anything that has like a constructed bill, put it in a box, please. Put it in a box. Put it in a box, because people are getting it. You know, it's like this. I always say it like this. Think about this. You go to a store and you got a stain on your shirt, and you're like, I need a white shirt for this event. All right, I want that white shirt. Boom, great. Put it on, great. But if you got it and it was all wrinkly at the store, you'd be like, I don't want that. Like, I need something like that. I don't have to like clean and press. And same thing with like if someone orders a hat, they may want to wear that right away. But if it's all like messed up, then, you know, and a lot of people don't know how to reshape hats either. So if they have a dented, like fitted hat, they may never get that dent out. So
what size box do you use?
All right. So for your standard, like trucker hat, like this, you know, something like this, this would go in a 10 by 8 by 6 box. Okay. I don't even have one around here, but you're like your dad hats that can, like, you know, your unstructured hats that you can go by in a 8 by 6 by 4. So those two size boxes for hats. Definitely.
Joe?
Yeah, that's I usually just I don't sell many hats, but when I do, I make sure I have them. I put them in boxes. I end up I think I have like a 8 by 8 by 8 box that I use that I just have for other things that I use. I don't have a specific box for hats or anything like that, but I don't sell that many, but definitely have to go in a box.
And here's the thing: shipping in a poly bag or a box is going to be about the same exact price to ship it.
Yeah.
So give your buyer the extra protection so that they are happy with the item 100%, because it's not going to cost you any extra money except for the 30 cents, whatever you pay for that box, you know.
Yeah.
But it's worth making your customer happy.
Yeah, I do mine mainly in 8 by 6 by 4s, and all like a box. Like I've always had hats go in boxes. I agree though, like the bucket hats, I would throw those in a poly, but yeah, I've always said box. And the person I went head to head with did convert to boxes. I'm not gonna call him out. But he did convert to boxes. Yeah, definitely a box. Now, if it was an expensive hat, I would put it in a bigger, I'd probably put it in 10 by 10. If it was an expensive hat, I wouldn't put it in the 8 by 6 by 4. But most of my hats are lower, so I'm fine with them. They get squashed like a little bit, but not horrible. All right. Terry says, hi, love all the info I get from these videos. What average markup do you generally want to get from the items you sell?
So for me, it's high. I want to, you know, I'm marking it up high because I'm buying it at such a low price. I buy low. If people know me, I have one of the best thrift stores around. Okay. People are jealous of my thrift stores. I brag about it, and I don't tell them about it. Okay. Because it's so good. And it's crazy. So I'm buying it at such a low price. This like this question and like other questions like ROI or, you know, cost per item and all that stuff, I'm not really concerned about because I'm buying at such a low price that right now I'm looking for 50 and above. You know, I'll throw some hats in there for 25 because it's so easy to get, and you know, I've done it a million times. I can get them listed, you know, really quick. But I would say, you know, my ASP, I try to get up like 50 and above. And so that's my markup.
I'm a little bit all over the board with it. I don't specifically have a certain amount that I like to do because I'm not opposed to buying something that sells really quick, you know, but I pay up for it. Like, you know, buying something for 50 to sell for 100. I'm not opposed to that if I know it's going to sell right away, you know. But if I'm buying just something that, I don't know, I like selling DVDs, so I buy DVDs really cheap, and you know, I'll turn around and sell DVDs for, you know, $20 to $30, $40 and things like that. But so I don't have a, you know, specific answer for that, but I'm all over the board. But I'm not opposed to just buying something that's really going to sell quick and double my money and moving on and just take a small profit from that.
So I'm going to do a combination of what Cernoch and Joe both said there, because for me, I'm more focused on sell-through rate than I am on my average sales price, because I want to move. My ultimate goal is to rinse and repeat. I want to put an item in my store and sell it as soon as possible. So I'm not storing that item, I'm not keeping it here anymore, and I want to move it as soon as possible. Get that profit, move on. So I'll take a smaller profit margin on items I can quickly move. And also too, I'm open to buying higher dollar items and paying up for items, because yes, I may, you know, where, you know, they're talking about getting, you know, 3, 4, 5 times their money on stuff, but I'm okay buying an item for $200 if I can, you know, sell it for $350, you know, where I'm making a higher profit margin. So it really, it's hard to say when about marking up your items and say, I always try to get, you know, 3, 4 times what I buy. But normally if it's a bread and butter item or, you know, low dollar item, I would like to, you know, get, I would say, you know, 3 to 4 times my money, 3 to 5 my money. Sometimes if I'm buying items for $5, $10, I want to, you know, get $30, $40 for those items and so on.
I'm chasing a fly if I look like a crazy person and slapping like it's driving me up the friggin' wall. So if you see me looking crazy, that's why. I really like to 10 times my money. Like that's what I want. But with that in mind, like the faster stuff, like we're back into Whatnot again. If I can double or triple on Whatnot in a day after I buy it, I'm okay with that. So a lot of people are getting really good deals. Today, I went and picked up probably 1,000 trinkets, like breakables, teacups, over 50 teacups that I'm going to offer cheap. And there's going to be room for profit because I'm going to move it fast. I bought it specifically for that. So we mainly do the jewelry, but we're going to do some of that, try that. I am the same way though with the higher dollar. Like higher dollar, I might only double my money, but if that's $500, you know, that's okay. So for me, the higher I go up, the less like the profit percent, the ROI is going to be. You know, if I pay $1, I want at least 10 for it, you know, if not 20 to 25. And I'm like, Chris, like I have all these thrift stores with clothes for $1 clothing. I have 3 or 4 of them that I can go to, and I can get it cheap. So like I say, I want 25, but I'll still like if it's $20, like $1 into 20, I'm like, like it's hard to pass it up. So what I've started doing though is lotting them up. Like I'll only get them, and it happens a lot. Like if I have 2 Columbia XL fishing shirts, put them together for 35, right? Instead of 2 $17 sales. And scrubs, same thing. I do very well lotting scrubs up. Most nurses want multiple sets of scrubs.
Men's jeans, I do it all the time. Men's jeans is crazy.
Everything. Like we just got a bunch of cycling jerseys. So what I did, if individually it was worth 20 or more, I listed it individually. Otherwise, I put 4 together for 35. I paid $4. You know, 4 into 35. That's coming close to my 10 timesing my money. So definitely, I mean, lot stuff up, and I won't pick them up if it's a medium and I don't have 2 or 3. I'm going to leave it. If it's a 3X, I'm probably going to pick it up, you know, because those bigger ones definitely sell faster. All right, let's see. Wendy says, how do you like to organize your shipping station? Cubby holes or shelves? I definitely need to try something else so I can level up.
Yeah, I mean, you can organize it the best you can. I mean, have somewhere to put your boxes. I mean, you can order boxes, your free USPS boxes. Cool hack. If you have somewhere you can hang like I have my bubble wrap hung from the ceiling in my basement. So it's basically like chains and a dowel rod that's like 24 inches because they come in like 12-inch rolls. So I can put 2 on there. So I just like put it on there. And so I can just like rip as much stuff as I want off, or I can take it off if I'm wrapping something with it. And then
how often do you go through a roll when you like, since you hang it like that?
See, I don't use that much bubble wrap, so it's hard. It just depends on if I'm
asking because like on a busy Monday, I'll go through a roll and a half. So I'm like, I'm just wondering, like, if for me, since we go through so much, like, is it worth it to take it down, put it up, take it down, put it up?
See, that might be a problem for you, but I think for a lot of the new people, you know what I'm saying? I don't think they're going through a roll and a half of bubble wrap in a day. So that may
And for us, it's only a Monday. So maybe if they run out on Monday, like after that, we put, you know, it's just like after the weekend sales.
Yeah. And so I hang that up, and then I have like all my like envelopes, and I have like a whole like a station, like a big shelf just full of stuff, you know. So I can just grab like my tape, you know, whatever is on that station right there. So I would say, yeah, I mean, make yourself a station, shelves, and you know, however you want to design it, it's cool. But just organize it, and you'll thank yourself later.
Yeah, I kind of do the same thing. I just ship on like it's probably a 6-foot folding table, but I put like what are those things called? Like you can put them under your bed to make the bed higher or whatever. The risers or whatever, just so I'm not bent over, you know, all the time. So I just use a regular folding table with that. I have a designated laptop for that. It's a cheap laptop that I had. I think it was actually one of my kids when they were done using it. All I do is just do the shipping over there. I have my thermal printer over there, but underneath that table I have, it's almost like a bookcase, and I just have all my boxes and tape and, you know, extra labels and poly bags underneath that. Yeah. So, and then as soon as I'm done packing them, they go right into like IKEA bag, and then I just leave them out front for the postman to come get them.
Yeah, for me, I have a metal shelf in my garage with try to put my poly bags, my bubble mailers, and then I keep certain box sizes there, box sizes that I normally always use, and then on the other side of my garage, I have my big boxes that I need for like bulk orders, and I have those like stashed like behind like a shelving unit or something like that, where they're just slipped right behind. But I order so much because I do live shipping. I mean, not live shipping. I do live selling.
I do live shipping.
Yes, I think we all do live shipping. Thank you, Kat. But no, we since I'm buying so much and selling so much now, I'm getting so many supplies. I literally have to stockpile supplies because it's, we're going through so much. So I have them in multiple places, but that's kind of my go-to every day.
So I'm going to turn, like you can see, there are my bigger boxes next to the trash can. There are my 8x8, 8x6x4. Those are more 8x8s. There's just like cardboard, and then over there you can see the free priority boxes are stacked. So all of the boxes, like we have back like more of these, but we keep a stockpile here. So this is our shipping area right here that you're looking at. Tape and all supplies are in there. The poly mailers are all here, all the different sizes of poly mailers. And then you can barely see the bigger padded polys over here. So that corner is our shipping corner. So I bought this shelf, and if you have proxy bid, any of the online auction, this was an old retail counter, and I can turn it. It wraps half of my shed, which is cool. And this is the backside of it, like where the employees would stand behind. So this was where like all their bags and all their stuff was. And the drop downs are where the cash registers were. I got this shelf for $20, and it is heavy. It is industrial, and it's probably worth thousands and thousands of dollars. Watch online auctions for something that you can make into what you want it, because the rest of it we use for photographing. I had to pay some guys to move this sucker in here, and they had to cut it to get it in here. But $20, so I think figure out what works for you and look at what you're like. We know what we use a lot of, so that's what you want close. But I'm like, Rod, my bigger boxes are like up in the loft, because those we might only need once a week. So we're not going to put those down here in the way. We can go out of our way for stuff that we're not going to be grabbing over and over. And I keep all big boxes that come in, because buying big boxes to ship in is really expensive. So like our dog food we get from Amazon, all those boxes, every single one we keep, we put them up in the loft. And yeah, but I think it really depends on you. Like, think of where you're going to grab something. Like, where would you go to grab the bubble wrap? Where would you go to grab the tape? And then you can kind of adjust it to what you want. And our extra boxes are up top. So, whenever we get low, we just fill it back up. 5 Acre Woods, Miss Debbie said, please share your thoughts on pros and cons of Autoaccept for offers, and do you use it? This is kind of a controversial question as well sometimes.
So Autoaccept for offers, is that talking about like
when you say you'll accept best offer, you can put like accept over whatever, or decline. Auto decline, I think, is more used. But do you set an amount on those?
I mean, I've done it before, and it's it's what I want to sell it at. If someone hits me, if I have it listed for $250, and I'll take $200 for it, and I put $200, and someone buys it for $200. All right, cool. I mean, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, like whether or not you like. So if say you put half because you don't want to accept less than half, then you would never see that offer. It would just auto decline.
Yeah. I mean, some people want to see that activity, see those offers. I've always had a thing too. I used to do it, but then I got a weird theory in my eBay theory in my head. Y'all ever do that? You get that weird theory.
The eBay conspiracy theory?
We think we know.
So here,
nobody really knows.
I'll throw this one out here.
Let me put my tin hat on.
Put your little foil on. So I always thought about in this way, where it's if you're auto declining an offer, it's basically telling eBay, nope, there's no sale. But if you allow counter offers, I feel like that's better to do it that way. And I know it's not really related to the question, but I feel like eBay always has that like algorithmic push for you if you're willing to do. If you're really willing to sell it, you know what I'm saying? Like if there's a possibility, because when you decline it, it kills the momentum. But if you counter offer, okay, eBay's like, oh, we still got a chance to make a sale, and to eBay, it's like we still got a chance to make some money for us, you know. So I think it does help when you counter offer that as well. So I'll say that.
Yeah, not all of my items have offers on there, but I usually anytime I get an offer in, regardless of how low it is or whatever, I usually respond back to it with a counter offer. You know what I mean? Unless it's a reasonable offer that I'm willing to take, then I just accept it. There was a time, I think, when eBay had, if you had offers on and someone sent you an offer, you accepted it, then they would wait 2 or 3 days and then it would sit there. They didn't have to buy it right away and all that. Then at that point, I took all the offers off. You know, I wasn't doing that anymore, because sometimes people would make these offers. You would accept the offer. They would never pay. And then I would forget to relist it. And then next thing you know, I was finding all these extra items in my inventory that aren't listed because I accepted an offer, months ago, and they never paid. And I just forget to do it. So, but whenever I do get an offer, I usually counter, or, I never decline an offer, really.
So when I go to a yard sale or garage sale, our flea market, I have, not intentionally, but I have lowballed people, or I've made an offer to people just trying to test the water to see what they were willing to accept. Then they opened up a line of communication with me. We talked a little bit, and then I came up and made a higher offer, or they countered me and made an offer, and we made a deal. So that happens to me all the time, every time I go out sourcing. So why would that happen on eBay? So I do not like, back in the day, I used to have auto decline on, but I do not do it anymore because I keep that same philosophy. If someone sends me a lowball offer, they could just be testing the water to see what I'm willing to sell the item. And you know what? If you catch me in a good day and you send me a 50% offer and that item sits in my store for 2 years, I'm probably going to take it. All right.
Peace
so
out.
there we go. You got the deal of a lifetime. So yeah, people are going to test the waters. I mean, listen, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That's what, so, but I will tell you this, if someone sends me a lowball offer, I will send them a counter and be like, hey, I'm willing to work with you, but I can't go that low. So I put that little note in there. I send them a counter offer back. Sometimes they counter me. Sometimes we go back and forth. But I can't tell you how many sales I've made by that approach over the years. So I changed my approach, and I don't auto decline, and that's why.
Yeah, and I also used to do auto decline. I don't anymore because, like Rod said, like it depends on the day. Like if I'm not having many, he said if they catch them on a good day. If you catch me on a bad day because I'm not having sales, that's when I'm going to accept a low offer. And I also will accept less the longer I've had it. If I've had it 3 years, like 3 years ago, I might have wanted 40. Now I'd be happy with 20. But if I had that auto decline on, I'd never see that offer. So that's why I don't do it. I don't do counter offers. And like what Chris said, I might try it, but typically when I send out offers, I send out my rock bottom. Like I don't mess around. Like I send out the lowest I want to take. So I don't want counter offers. So, but like I get the algorithm thing, but that makes me almost want to like lessen the percent I'm sending out so that if they counter offer, I have like a little bit of wiggle room. Me on a bad day, a low ball offer, like a really low ball offer, I'm gonna decline. I'm not dealing with this today.
Not gonna counter them with like 1% less. Count them at $79.99. You count them at 79.98.
Oh yeah. Sometimes if I'm pissy, I will counter them at a penny less than I'm asking. Lately though, I will counter them at like my rock bottom, even if they send like a super low, and I'll put a note like, hey, this has only been listed a week. This is the lowest I'm willing to take right now. I counter them. It has gotten me quite a few sales. If they come back lower again, I decline. Like if you can't read, go somewhere. I hate to say that, but like I told you, like, this is my lowest. I'm not like BSing. And I know a lot of people like the back and forth, but like, I'm just like, I'm not messing around. This is my lowest. And I tell them that, like, I don't tell them that in those words, but, you know, I say like, this is my lowest. And if they don't read, like, yeah. So I wanted to put this one up because this is still with the same kind of the same thing to follow up. So Tiffany said, someone said they don't like to do auto accept so they can check the buyer out before completing the sale. So if you have a question about a buyer, talk about it. Do you ever have questions about buyers? Then the seller would decline the offer. What's your opinion on that?
I don't have time for that. Like looking up every buyer. It's like this. Here's my motto. You pay, I ship. You pay, I ship. You know what I'm saying? Listen, so there's people that are like, oh, if you have anywhere from 0 to 10 feedback, I'm not doing business with you. I don't do that. Listen, there's new people coming to eBay all the time. If we want to grow the platform that we're selling the most on, you know what I'm saying? This is how you do it. You know, everyone's worried about Super Bowl commercials. No, this is how you do it. You do it through being a good reseller, getting the, you know, they pay, I ship. You know what I'm saying? And I try, you know, I try to list everything the way it should be. So I really don't do that. I'll get excited when I'm putting off labels and I see an international label. I rejoice. I rejoice every time I get an international label. So, and the real eBayers know why that is, right?
Right.
Your returns. So,
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah, I rarely look at the buyers when they're sending an offer or anything like that. So,
Yeah, I don't look at them either. I figure, I think there's a lot, like, with the feedback, if you have somebody that comes with 0, they might have found that item, you know, through Google and checked out as a guest, you know, so it doesn't automatically mean that, like, that 0 feedback buyer is going to be a bad buyer or going to give you trouble or going to give you a headache down the line or anything like that. I've sold plenty of items that, you know, with somebody that had low feedback or no feedback at all. So I don't really research it. You know, if someone does send me an offer or send me something and I think it's a good price and I like the price and I'm okay with selling it, I pull the trigger on it and let it go. You know?
eBay has over 133 million users. Everyone started at 0 at one point in time. Everyone has made a mistake, maybe got negative feedback, is something you can't do. Like, eBay has buyer and seller protection for a reason. So you know what? You buy the item from me, I'm going to ship it. As long as my tracking says it gets from point A to point B, I'm fine. You know, it's going to be up to eBay at that point in time to step in and handle any issue that's going there. But that's why we pay eBay that 15%. We pay eBay those fees because they handle everything in the back end. They make sure the buyer and seller have the transaction is complete. I don't worry about it. I just ship. I'll deal with the issues later on because you know what? I can count on one hand how many times I have issues probably in the last year, you know, and I'd rather deal with those when they come instead of going through and have to research every single buyer, especially if you're selling hundreds of items a month.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, and I've said this every time this question comes up, I say it. People check out as guests. Like, I did that when I wanted to buy something that I didn't like. I know, like, my kids are in my eBay account, so if I wanted to buy them a gift or something, I check out as a guest. I have over 8,000 positive feedback, but you would see a 0 when I check out as a guest. And user blah blah blah, whatever name it makes up for my guest checkout. So I don't pay attention to it at all. I saw somebody that said they do for higher dollar. I really don't for higher dollar because I feel like the guest, especially if they're buying an expensive gift and their spouse uses their eBay account, I'm not. And I know a lot of us have had the buyer, the suspicious buyer and they cancel it, but eBay still covers that. If you have already shipped, they're still going to cover you in that, but they will tell you don't ship if you haven't and you can cancel it. They catch those that are like fishy accounts and they will take them down and take them off of there. All right, let's see. Okay. 5 Acre Woods. Oh, we did that one. But hold on. I got a question. Let me look because I actually got this on Thursday. Somebody wanted to ask a question. Let me find. I screenshotted it. Let me find it.
Why do that too? Also think about this. Like,
okay, I got it.
I have less issues with buyers buying high dollar items than I do low dollar items. Like, I will tell you, when someone's buying something for $500, $1,000, $1,500, no issues at all. Unless unless something got damaged in shipping, like, is a legit issue. Like, I would tell you that. Other than that, it's no issues at all. It's the people that are buying the items for $17.99, for $22, like, that where the issues arise.
I can't tell you how many times I had a problem with a $10 DVD that had
$5.
That had an extra scratch on it that wasn't there when they saw it in the picture, or something so bizarre on a $10 sale than you do on a $1,000 sale. You know what I mean? It's just
yeah, it's crazy. All right, so here's the question. I don't have to put it up, so you have to listen. Teresa wanted to know, how do you price? She said she understands researching, no problem there as far as that. But she's asking, do you do like whole dollar amounts? Do you put 99 cents at the end? Some people put random numbers. So what is your pricing strategy as far as the cents? She knows as far as like the research and all that, but how do you personally end those dollars?
I just do 99 cents. I just do the simple 99. It's built-in psychology, proven over the years. So, you can put 75, 79, 95, whatever you want.
Oh,
It's all psychological.
thank you, Rod.
There it is.
That's why you
I
guys.
screenshot it though. I remembered to screenshot it. She sent it to me. I think it was 2 or 3 days ago, and I was like, I gotta remember.
Okay, that's why you pay me the big bucks. And listen for this service.
The really big bucks.
If you want to put, what year you were born in, or what, it's whatever. You know what I'm saying? Have fun with it. If that's something that, if your favorite vehicle, if your favorite vehicle is a Chevy 1957, whatever, and you like 57 at the end of it, put it on there. I don't think it really matters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I use 98 cents just to beat somebody that's 99 cents. That's it. I've used 90. I couldn't even tell you why I have it, but I use 98 cents. I don't know.
So there's actually something called the left digit effect, and that is why it's a sales tactic. It's psychology, because if you look at something at $20 next to $19.99 just looks more appealing. Yeah. If you pick up the newspaper and you look at all the marketing for every department store, grocery store, everything out there, they always end their items in 99 cents, because when you look at something at $19.99 compared to $20, I know it's only a cent, but that $19.99 looks so much more appealing than the 20, because it's the next level up. So you're going from there to going up, or $9.99 and going to $10. That's a double. You're going to the double digit right there, 10.00 compared to 9.99. So it's something they teach you in sales, and it's the reason why everyone does it. So like Cernoch said, like, you can do whatever you want for your business of it. It's not going to make that big of a difference. But if everyone's so custom, every store's doing it, our minds are mentally trained to think that way, because anywhere you go, anywhere in society, that is what's going on there. So that's why I do 99 at the end of all my sales items.
Yeah, I am a 99 cent person too. Just again, that's, something that's been proven. I used to always, when I sent my offers out years ago, I used to do it in the minutes. So like now it's 8:47. So my offer would be like 9:47 instead of 10. I don't do that anymore. I do percents off. So a lot of people ask me a lot of mine is percents. Like I might have a 40% off sale that ends that at like 58 cents or something. So when the sales go on, like all the cents kind of go out the window. I've never been like I don't know. I don't like the way like $24. I don't know. I don't know why. It's probably the psychology thing. Cause I know like for me, I'm also like $9.99, like Rod said, $9.99. It's a penny. We know that, but like psychologically, that's not, that's just not how it works.
Here's a very interesting history fact. So I've actually looked into this like a while back. It actually goes all the way back to the late 1800s. It actually started in, I think they even said it even started in Philadelphia. That's department stores will list their items set at $1, will list at 99 cents. And what happened was, I think it was like a women's clothing factory or something like that would sell their clothes at 99 cents. And that became their number one best selling item because people were buying that just over the $1 items there in the store. So they just continue to do that, and it just went rapid. So it goes, I mean, it's been something that's been done for 200 years almost.
Oh yeah, it's
years,
all psychology and the numbers and the way it looks, and it's proven. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna try to decipher this one. I think she means, do you feel guilty when you purge items that aren't selling? That's what I'm gonna interpret this as.
That's what I thought that said. Do I feel guilty when I purge items that aren't selling? Now, here's the thing. I'm going to sell it somehow. Either be a garage sale, a flea market, or live selling. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get rid of it. So there are certain things where, say I've had it on eBay and Poshmark for a year and a half, 2 years. If I'm doing some live selling, and no matter what I'm selling, so say shoes, for instance, and someone says, bro, I need a size 14 running sneaker. Okay. And I'm like, oh man, and I look at what I have for the live show. I don't have any size 14s, but I'll go to my eBay inventory, pull something I have for $80 on it, and I'll start at $20 just to push it. Okay. Just to get rid of it, just to get some money back. It's okay to sometimes take a loss on some of your items, because here's my thing. I've won on so many other items that I'm so far up from my purchasing cost. Like I did a look back for a month. I sold an $800 item, one item. I look back at what I spent at just the one thrift store. I could have shopped at that thrift store for a month and a half for that $800 item. So to me, that means anything I bought in that month has been paid for, technically. Okay. And now, okay, maybe I bought those shoes for $25. I'll start them at 20. Okay, I got $32. Cool. They're out of my system. I move it on. I'll take stuff to the flea market, pull it off of eBay, bring it to the flea market, sell it for half price, and someone's happy. I got cash in my pocket, and we're all good. So, I mean, that's the way to look at how to purge your items that aren't selling. Look at different avenues. Have you tried Facebook Marketplace? Have you tried setting up a yard sale? Have you gone to a flea market? Have you, there's different avenues of selling. And maybe just because it's not selling in that avenue means it won't sell in a different one.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as that. I'll figure out a way to sell it, but there are times that I get rid of items, and I feel so much. I don't feel guilty at all getting rid of them. I feel so much better once they're out, once they're away, once they're redonate. Most of the times I redonate them. So I never really throw anything away that I have for reselling. I'll end up just redonating it somewhere or put it in one of those, the bins that they have in the parking lots where you can donate clothes and stuff like that. But I feel much better after I finally get rid of it, and I could see that space opened up, or I don't have that sitting around staring at me because I didn't list it, or it's just been sitting there for a long time. So I encourage you to don't feel guilty. Just get rid of it.
Yeah, I have never, ever felt guilty. Let me tell you, because I'm either I'm literally taking a bunch of stuff and just blowing it out, and I'm getting cash flow back in my business,
yep.
Or B, I'm going to give it away. I'll donate to another reseller, give them free inventory, take it to the donation because I get free up space. So 2 things are very valuable in my 3 things are valuable in my business: time, space, and cash flow. So if I can help improve any of those in my business by just taking a bunch of stuff that's not selling, just donate it, frees up time for me having to go through and deal with that stuff, frees up space, and it allows me to buy new items. I can get cash flow coming in my business. So absolutely not. Never once ever felt guilty. Felt happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. But if you watch me, I have a lot of space. I very, very rarely purge anything. I have probably done that twice ever, but I will pull stuff from the lots. I've gotten better about that. That's not worth listing if I don't have other items I can lot it up with. I actually, on my video you guys will see tomorrow, we had probably like 20 to 30 just random little Christmas ornaments that, you know, maybe $3 to $5, possibly $7 a piece. I put them, I'm like, put all these in a lot. They were all kind of like cabin rustic, sold them for $40. So I'm trying to get better about keeping the ASP up and lotting that stuff together. And we actually, Shannon and I were talking today because like I said, it took 2 vehicles today to pick up what I picked up. And a lot of that stuff is going to be lower. So what we will probably do, run it through Whatnot at $3. If it doesn't sell though, I said, okay, I'm going to give it to my flea market lady. I have a lady who has a flea market booth. I just tell her you have to take everything. She'll come take everything free. But Shannon said, Kat, do a yard sale on a Friday, one day, $1 a piece, sell what you can sell, and then give it to the flea market lady. So like, what do you guys think about that? Because I'm paying somebody to do that. Do I pay her to sit out there for what, like 5 or 6 hours, try and get $1 a piece before I give it away, or do I just give it away? So what, like, I'm going to ask the panel that, what would you do with that just to try and get $1 a piece, or would you just let it go?
Do I have to ship it if I sell it for $1 a piece?
No, like yard sale in the yard, they take
Oh
it.
yeah, dude. See, I love the flea market. I'm a flea market guy, so I like if I can go on a Saturday and Sunday and sell. I love that.
See, I won't sell on the weekend, so ours would be like a Friday yard sale for $1 each, and then I would give it to my flea market lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe I would try it if I had the time. You know, the biggest thing with me is time. I do this part-time, so the biggest thing with me is time. So, I mean, I don't know if, depending on if I knew it was going to be, we don't have many Friday sales out here, you know, yard sales. It would have to be a Saturday, and I don't know if I want to give up, you know, a sourcing Saturday to sell my dollar items. It might be worth me just, you know, getting rid of them before that, you know, so.
Rod, what do you think? What would you do? Try and do it for? I guess I could try it once, and then I know if it works or doesn't work, and then if it doesn't, then I don't do it again.
Selling at the flea market?
No, doing $1 yard sale at the house, and then whatever doesn't sell, like, and then I can advertise like everything's $1. And I'm going to answer those 2 questions to me too before we go to the next.
So I've done stuff like that in the past. Like I just want to blow it out and stuff like that. There's a guy that literally, I've seen this one guy at the flea market down here in Florida where he's literally taking everything to the flea market, starts at like $5, and then like by the end of the day, everything's $1, and then like the last hour, everything's free. And then just put up the sign and let it go. So his prices decline as the day goes on. So I've seen people do that, but
Those are those house clean out guys.
yeah.
I know a storage unit guy that I see at the flea market, but he's no haggle price. You know, he starts off $5. It's $5 until that minute that, you know, the hour's up, then it goes to $4. Like he won't make a bundle deal or nothing. And he says, if you want to wait around, it's going to be at noon, it's going to be free. So you can either, you know, wait here or, you know, pay the $5 for it. So, yeah. And hope that it's here. So.
All right. So I'm going to answer these 2 questions.
Did something just fall behind you?
Dalton just fell.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Did I just see that? Is he okay?
Yeah, he's okay. He's tripping over cords. Gotcha. I think he's going to go inside. Okay. Hold on, and I'll get him. So I'm going to assume that you haven't watched me very much, and I'm not meaning this rude at all. I will tell you, I've been up since 6 o'clock this morning, and I probably will not go to bed until 2 a.m., and I've not stopped all day. I have negative time, and I have 3 employees. I am buying, I am listing, I am doing YouTube videos, I am answering comments. I don't stop. I have made myself stop on the weekends lately. I take my Saturday and Sunday off, but I have negative time. YouTube itself is a full-time job. eBay is a full-time job. Live selling is, I have like all these full-time jobs. So today I literally will be working about 19 hours, recording videos. I went and picked up an auction haul. I do not have time to sit out there. So for me, it's whether it is worth it to pay her to sit out there. And I think it might be worth it to try the one time to have her do it. But for me, I'd rather be listing $100, $200, $300 items on eBay than sitting out there to make $20. And then this is the funny one. So Karen's asking, I always say I'm remote. Would you get traffic? So about 4 years ago, I used to buy pallets when I first started getting back into reselling, and I did yard sales, and the amount of traffic I got was insane. I was like, I made that, like, I think like $1,700 or $1,800 in a day. I did not expect it, but yes, I think people around here like yard sales. So I made a lot of signs. Like, I live right off a major highway. I put signs everywhere, and we made a lot of money. So like, yeah. And like LJ saying, since I'm a big time seller, he would say, give it away, which is what I was saying. But I get what Shannon's like, Kat, you could make $800 in a day by doing which is true. Cause I have so much. So I might try it once, and then if it doesn't, if I lose, then I won't do it again. The nice thing is, though, the lady I have that picks up everything, I go to the flea market on the weekends, and if she has good stuff, I get a very good deal because I give her so much stuff. Like, I just got what is it called? What's the T brand, the expensive luggage?
Toomey.
What is it?
Toomey?
Yeah, I just got it. It's sitting right there. I can see it. I got a Toomey backpack for her for $3 last weekend. And then she had a bunch of Vera Bradley. She sold it to me for $1 each because I give her so much. It comes back when I go in her booth and find really, really good stuff.
It's all about the connection. You know what I'm saying?
It is. Yeah, for sure. All right. How do we battle reseller fatigue if you get it?
All right. Yo, okay. Reseller fatigue. I think it's just 40-year-old fatigue for me. Listen, Kat runs. I know certain resellers that run circles around me in their time, their effort. Listen, I'm lazy. I am lazy. Okay. So I'm probably one of the laziest resellers there is. Okay. But I pay my bills. I got everything, all that's set. But the thing is, it's like, yo, if I can take a nap in the afternoon, I'm taking a nap. Okay. It's called lifestyle design. That's why I'm a reseller. It's how I design my lifestyle. So, yeah.
Lifestyle design. I like that.
Okay. I go through it from time to time. Like I said, I do this part-time. I do have a full-time job. So I go through it probably a couple times a year, especially like around this time of the year when it's getting nice out. I live in Pennsylvania. I live right outside of Philadelphia. So, I mean, getting past, the winter and then things are, opening up here. And, I like to go to yard sales and, the flea market when it's open up here, but that part's the fun part. The hard part is getting back home here and listing that stuff that for me is listing the stuff that I bought. So I just try to battle through it. There are times where I take it, I take a week off and try to reset and go back at it, the following week a little bit harder to try to make up, for the listings that I didn't, didn't put up. But my whole goal when I got into reselling was to pay the kids' tuition. I have 3 kids. They go to private school, so I pay each school year. I make sure all the tuition money comes from reselling. So I have that bill each month that I know that I gotta hit that goal each month, and then any money left over at the end of the year, my family and I, we take a nice vacation. We spend it over the summer. We do, we do have extra money, we'll do vacation and do like an excursion or something while we're on vacation extra. So I have that motivation to get to that point, to keep going, to keep moving. So it's a little bit, it's mostly mental though. You can get past it. It happens to everybody. Don't let it, weigh you down too much.
Listen, if someone tells you they never experienced reselling fatigue, they're lying to you, because it is a real thing. Because it doesn't matter if you're part-time or full-time, it's addicting. Reselling is addicting. The money can be addicting. The sourcing can be addicting. It's fun because, listen, when I worked a 9-to-5 job, what I did for fun is in my side hustle, because I wanted to quit my job and have the, as Cernoch would say, have the freedom to just do whatever I want, was I would just resell and go to garage sales and do that. Now that I'm full-time, and I've been full-time for years, like, I can't turn it off sometimes. That's the problem I have, because this is what I would do for fun. And there's days that I know when I'm getting fatigued when this becomes not fun for me. And I have, I'm on 2 podcasts. I do 3 YouTube channels. I'm doing all the Dibbit marketplaces. I'm live selling. I'm listing on eBay. I sell in several different marketplaces. Like, I keep adding more and more to my plate, and yet I can accomplish more and more. So I keep pushing myself. And a lot of resellers out there will keep and continue to do that because, we just have goals in life. And like Joel said, like,
we're hustlers.
Yeah, we're hustlers. Like, we can't turn it off. It's in our blood. Like, this is what I love to do. So, but I can tell when I'm getting fatigued because I literally work 7 days a week because it's not work for me. I enjoy this. And I can tell when I start getting burned out because simple tasks that would take me 20, 30 minutes to do, and now take me an hour and a half to do. That's how I know I get fatigued. So at that point in time, I just stop what I'm doing. I just take a mental break, or I go to bed early. I do something. I wake up the next night. I feel so refreshed. I can go another 2 weeks without doing something. But I would say once you start feeling that fatigue, you need to get out of your environment. If you still have work to do, take your laptop, go to a coffee shop, change your environment, because sometimes being around your house, being around, working from home, you know that your house is dirty. You need to clean. You need to do laundry. You have all this other stuff that you need to do, and it starts weighing on you. And that starts building that fatigue up more and more, because now you're getting overwhelmed with everything you have to do, reselling and doing that. So I said change your environment is a big one. And just sometimes it's okay to take a break, even if you have a ton of stuff to do, because when you stop and you get refreshed for that night or the next morning, you will get 10 times more stuff done than you would have going that entire 10-hour, 12-hour day trying to get stuff done. You'll get it done in half the amount of time because you just reset. So it's okay to do that.
Yeah, and I think it's not, like, for a lot of us, at least for me, like, I get, like, it's Reseller and YouTube. Like, it's overwhelming. Right. Like, I was just talking about, like, there's always something to do. Always something to do. I agree, though. Like, step away, take a break. I say I don't do weekend sourcing, but, like, we go to the flea market. We go to Junk in the Trunk. But it's fun stuff and it's relaxing. I do not record on the weekends when I go sourcing. So that's kind of like just a fun thing for me. And it's like, I take the weekends off now. We go out on the boat. Like, and I say that, but I still edit videos Sunday night. So I don't take the whole day. And I do list things sometimes on Saturdays, but I don't work all day like I do Monday through Friday. And get it, like, I've started, like, just walk outside and get in the sun, especially, like, we're inside working all day. If you're sourcing inside, go outside, take a break. I sometimes, same as Rod, like, I might take a day off in the middle of the week. Like, if I'm feeling frustrated, like right now, I have got, like, we're kind of restructuring because we're getting back into live selling, which is adding more shipping in. And it's like readjusting my whole business model. And one of the things with reseller fatigue too, I get bored. This is why I'm an everything reseller. If I do tons of one thing, I get bored. I get tired of it. I'll switch it. Like, if I've been listing tons and tons of jewelry, I'm going to switch it to it. It might even be clothes, or like whatever the heck it is. Something other than jewelry, if I'm tired of that. So that's the nice thing about being an everything reseller. If you're bored or something's being like overly monotonous, I'll go find something else. And I source different things. If you've watched me throughout the years, I'll do jewelry hardcore for 6 months. And then I'm like, okay, I'm done with that. Now I'm going to go buy scarves. Or now, I change it and I get to learn different things. Same thing with my YouTube. That's the nice thing. Like I do the research videos. So I might be doing a bunch of jewelry. Same thing. I'm like, okay, I'm bored researching jewelry. I'm going to go research something else. But yeah, no, the live show, I don't get bored with the live show at all.
Live shows are fun.
It's interactive.
Yeah.
We get to talk to you guys. We have different guests on every week. We never know what questions we're going to get. So this is one thing that I really don't. I came on here with COVID. I've come on here with Dalton sick. Like I've come on here from bed, laying with Dalton while Dalton was sick a few years ago. When he was little. But it's always different and it's nice. But yeah, I think everybody needs like if you're push, you're less productive. You got to realize when you need a break. Take a break. It's okay to take a break. Make sure like if your shipping has to be done for the day, do it and then go take a break. Like eBay will be there when you get back. The thrift store will be there. They will have more stuff. I promise you, it's not going away.
Your death pile will be there. Listen, if you do put out content, your content will be there. It's okay to put it a day late or something else.
I missed, like 1 week, I missed 2 of 3 videos because I just was not feeling it. And if I force videos, you guys are going to know. You're going to know if 100%. I'm not happy.
If you post,
you will know.
Yes, and here's the thing: is like you have a brand, and when you go and try to force it, I had a bunch of stuff happen last week, so I actually didn't put out a picking video, even though I wanted to. So I put it out today because I didn't want to put out a half-assed video that people would think that it wasn't up to quality and stuff like that. So I'd rather wait, make sure it was good, and do that. So it's okay to do that, guys. It's okay to do it. You make sure that you do put out good quality stuff along the way. I just want to say one thing. Guys, give Flipping Fantastic Podcast a follow. If you guys do not know, they're an all-female. Mo and Amy are great. There's an all-female podcast. It drops every Friday at noon. But click on them, give them a follow. I think they're up to like 500 and something followers, subs. So let's get them over the hump. Let's try to get them 600. Give them a follow. Great people.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Let's see. Tanya wants to know, and this is almost, I think, might have something to do with like the burnout, but do you have a daily or weekly routine that you stick to, or do you freestyle it?
I've been freestyling for I there has not been a routine week ever in my reselling business. It has been freestyle from the jump. I know what I need to get done and I just get it done. I don't know how to explain that. I think that's the crazy wiring in my brain, ADHD or, whatever. But nah, like listen, if I get a phone call from my friend that's at the thrift store and he said, yo, it's cranking out here, I'm leaving, I'm cutting everything done and I'm going, so it, no, I don't have anything I stick to really.
Yeah. I'm kind of,
that's what I stick to. How much do I need to make? Boom. All right, cool. Done.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I don't have a set routine. Sometimes I wish I did, but I make sure that I get my shipping done first thing, that make sure that's all out and, ready to go. And then usually I'll move to my listings to make sure I get some listings up. But other than that, like Cernoch said, if somebody calls me and I'm not doing anything that day, 9 times out of 10, I'm picking up and going. If somebody asks me, let's go golfing, let's go here, let's go there, I'm kind of going that way also. But there are times in 2025 that was my goal, is to try to be on a little bit more of a better schedule on doing this Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and doing this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever. But it never really came to doing anything about it. So I kind of stick to the old style that I've been used to, and I seem to always get it done. Whatever I have to get done, I always seem to somehow find a way. It might take me a little bit longer than what I thought it was going to do, because I do get interrupted during the day or doing things, but I eventually get them all done.
So I used to freestyle, and I know I had certain things to get done, stuff like that. But for me to continue to do and build on what I'm already building on, I kind of have to have a structure to my day. And now that structure does change, but things I need to do, like I try to get a couple listings done first thing in the morning. I try to end and sell similar in the morning, and I try to get my shipping done. Or if I try to get any of my if I need to get a video done for that day, I find myself editing in the morning is better because like my pets are sleeping, like the kids are sleeping, the wife's sleeping, so I have less distractions. But I find when I try to edit later on the day, I'm getting more fatigued, so I'm not as alert because your days you've been working for 4, 5, 6 hours. When you try to sit at a computer after being there for 5, 6 hours is a lot harder for me. So those things I try to do first thing in the morning. I mean, what's going to hurt my account the most is not shipping, so that's a must. I make sure I do that. But I would tell you this: like the best thing for you to do is, for me, is set a schedule the night before. And what I mean by set schedules, I block my time off, and I find I used to make a list, but I wasn't as effective because I was like, oh, I can do that tomorrow, do this. Now, if I give myself, hey, from 9 to 10, I'm going to do listing. From 6 to 8 in the morning, I'm going to do editing. From then 8 to 9, I'm going to do listing. From 10 to 12, I'm going to do shipping. And if I give myself blocks, it forces me to know, oh man, I'm running out of time. I need to, buckle down and get this stuff done. So that helps me out a lot more. Plus, if I know what I'm doing the night before, I'm not waking up. I'm sure you guys all done this. And I talk about this all the time, is like when you go to watch Netflix, you sit there and you just look through every single show, and then next thing you know, you're 20, 30 minutes into it, and you haven't watched a show, like, screw it, I'm going to bed, We've all been there. So I used to find myself standing in front of my death pile and like, what do I want to list today? So if you pull this stuff out the night before, get all your stuff ready, you're ready to go, man. You don't even think about things. It's going to be automatic, and you're going to jump right in. Trust me, you will be so much more productive. You'll be shocked.
Yeah. So for me, I want to say that it's super important to know, even if you make a schedule, that it's okay to deviate from it.
Correct.
That's what I'm like OCD about some things and not about others. So I have to tell myself, I don't have to do this. I try and end and sell similar every day, but this morning I got up, I took Dalton to school, I immediately went to pick up the auction stuff. So none of my morning stuff that I typically, yes, I want to end and sell similar every morning. It doesn't always happen. I try to end and sell similar every morning. Tuesdays, today is always my longest day because I record my videos for the week. I don't typically, though, have to go pick up 1,000 items from an auction. But guess what? Today, that was pickup day. So, I have to adjust that, and I'm hoping to stay up and be able to do the videos. But if I'm tired, I'll go to bed and I'll record some more tomorrow. That's okay. But I'm going to try and get it done today. I try to list at least 20 items a day, but some days I might only list 5 or 10. I want to get some up, and some days I might list 50 or 60. So that's why, I guess I kind of half freestyle it. But I have my videos are always Tuesdays, but again, I might not get to do them today. I might do them tomorrow. You have to be able. I could not stop to see her today. Marsha was working, and I drove almost right past where she was at. And I'm like, the thrift, and Brooke's like, Mom, no, we don't have time or space. She's like, you cannot go there. And I'm like, no, I know. I know I can't go there. I thought about wearing my GoPro today because it was so ridiculous, the amount of stuff I picked up. I would have to fast forward it all for you guys. But it's hard when you have 3 full-time jobs. Even when you have help, it's still really difficult. And I think if I was stringent and tried to make a schedule, I would stress myself out, which I don't want to. That defeats the purpose of working for myself and doing what I want. So I'm with everybody else. As long as I get done what I need to get done, I would say more at the end of the week, not even the end of the day. If I get it done by the end of the week, I'm okay. If I don't, I'm okay too. You gotta, not be lazy and do nothing, but you gotta give yourself grace. You gotta be, especially if you have kids. Dalton's graduation's Thursday. This week is just absolutely ridiculous for me. He has half days at school. I'm letting him skip school tomorrow because they're doing absolutely nothing because it's 2nd and 3rd grades graduation tomorrow. Like nothing. He's staying home. He went to take a shower, by the way. I checked on him. That's what I did when I hid. He went to take a shower. He'll be back. But yeah, so that was talking in a circle. But I guess the long answer is I half freestyle and half have a schedule. Okay, I did not read this, and this is kind of Marcia is saying the new eBay update, and I saw a couple other people said they read it as well. If anyone clicks on a promoted listing and anybody else buys it, you will, even if the other buyer clicked on it organically, you will now be charged a promoted fee.
I am unaware of that.
I was not aware of it either.
I'll have to double check on that because that doesn't sound right.
That sounds like crappy.
Yeah.
No, I didn't read it, but I know it's been that if somebody does it within a 30-day period,
but just that person,
the same buyer, the same person,
the
same buyer. I didn't know if it's anybody. I don't know.
Yeah. We need to look in, because if it's the same buyer, that's what it's been. Like they could click on it, promote it, and then 20 days later find it organically, and you're going to pay it because they clicked on the promoted one first.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully we can clarify that one. I don't know if anybody knows the answer to this. I do not. Do you know how it affects your YouTube pay if they skip the ads? Like, is it more if they skip or play? I don't know if there's any way for us to really know that because we're getting so many. Like we get paid by the 1,000 views, not like, right. I mean, it's per view, but it's really per 1,000.
If you pay for YouTube, what is it?
Premium,
called?
We get like this tiny portion. Like you pay 10 a month, we're getting like this much.
Yeah.
Put it this way, it's beneficial to us if you watch our videos. I don't care if you skip the ads. I'll skip your ads in your videos. I hate to say it. Yeah, so we're gonna skip the ads here. And even if you did watch it, it's literally cents on a dollar. We may make 1 cent from that view or a quarter of a cent. Like it's literally, people think that YouTubers make so much more money than what they do, and they really don't, unless you're getting millions and millions of views, and then that's going to be your full-time income on there. But like, yeah, it doesn't matter if you really skip our ads. Just watch it and enjoy it. Do what you need to do.
I wouldn't ask somebody not to skip because I can't tolerate skip. As soon as I see it, I have premium, but like Dalton's doesn't have it. So if we're on his, I'm like, like what are these ads? Chris, they want to know, what state do you live in that you have such great thrift shops?
I answered that question already.
Oh, did you?
They saw it
in the chat.
So, okay.
I answered her question.
That's it. When you ship your packages after a weekend, do you find it more effective to pack similar size box items at the same time or in the order purchase? Looking for time saving strategies.
I'm the worst to answer some of these like time efficiency questions. I get it. I mean, maybe like for me, maybe if I sold like 3 hats, 5 pairs of shoes, a couple of jackets, I'll lump that stuff. I'll go grab it together and I'll throw it all there. And then I don't know. I just kind of put it together, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'll do like the shoes together and stuff like that. But yeah,
I really don't. The only thing that I do, if I sell a lot of it, is on the opposite side of the basement, I have all my DVDs. So I'll go over and pull all my DVDs at one time because 9 times out of 10, they'll just go in a bubble mailer and all that. And I'll run through them. But there's a lot of times over the weekend that because I do it part-time and I have the 3 kids and, they're all playing baseball and soccer and all these other sports and everything, I rarely come down and ship all at one time. Like I'll ship, late on a Friday night, I'll put some packages together and then I'll ship again if I have a half hour on Saturday afternoon, or Sunday afternoon. So it kind of just, I ship as things come in and then I put them all out on the step on Monday morning for it to be picked up. So I very rarely spend the whole time of, oh man, I have to get down there and ship. I have 2 hours worth of shipping. So I kind of ship as things sell.
So I used to never have a system for how I ship things until I had an emergency one time, and then I ended up having to like dip out in the middle of shipping, and then I ended up getting like a ding for late shipments and stuff. That happened like many years ago. So now I changed up to my philosophy. I literally, when I saves like this one, we had a long weekend. You know, post office was closed on Monday. So I grab all, like if I have 30, 40 orders, I'll grab all the easiest stuff right away. I'll grab like 10, 20 of those items because I can quick package all those up. Because if something happens, I have to quick leave. Like if someone calls me for a private pick, I'm going to dip out and go take care of that because those things don't come up very often. It might be something when you go get an awesome deal, make a ton of money on. So what I've learned is I try to package up all my quick, easy stuff because I can get out as many orders as possible. Because remember, eBay is a numbers game. So what's going to hurt my account is having more items fall below. So if I can get those items shipped in there, it's going to boost my seller rating for that day. So it's a numbers game for me. So strategically, I try to package up all my easy items first and leave the bigger or the harder items for the very last things to do because that's going to be the most time consuming. And if I end up something happens, I have to leave and I don't get out those 1 or 2 items, it's not going to hurt me as much as leaving 20 or 30 items undone. So that's why I start with the easiest stuff first and then work my way to hard stuff.
Yeah, so for us, because like today we had over 40 go out. For us, I feel like it's easier and time saving to go in the order. Because if they're scrolling through 40 orders to change the weight, like we print all the labels at the same time, I think that would take more time than, and trying to be like, okay, these items go in this size box. I think for us, that would take longer because we're doing so many. If I was doing it all by myself, which I'm not, then if I had the time, I agree, especially if everything was in one place, I would pull it and pack it as it goes and then, get it done. We will on holiday weekends, like this weekend, like try and ship twice on like Friday because we don't ship Saturdays. I quit shipping Saturdays a long time ago, but when I know it's a 3-day weekend, we'll try and grab those orders that came in throughout the day Friday and get them out. That also helps for that Tuesday, which was today, having less items to go out. And I wanted to say, it looks like everybody's saying that it is not in the US yet, but it is correct. And it is in several other countries now that if anyone purchases it after somebody clicks on promoted, you will be charged a promoted fee, which is really crappy. But honestly, I've noticed like my promoted sales are about 70%. So I'm paying it most of the time already anyways.
Right.
So yeah. All right, let's see. This is a question that I've seen come up often. Do you put clothing? I'm going to add, I don't know if any of you do linens like I do linens. I do a lot of linens. I get this question for plush. Do you put stuff in the dryer to kill possible bug eggs?
Yeah, it depends. It just depends on what it is and what it looks like and what it came from. I wash a bunch of stuff, because I buy some stains and everything. I do wash and dry a bunch of stuff. So, probably the majority, like 60% of the stuff gets washed from me. So, no.
I'm on the opposite end of that. I don't wash anything that I pick up because usually if it's a project where it has stains and things that have to be repaired on it or whatever, I try not to buy it. I usually leave it behind if it has to be some sort of a project. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy, doing the extra work with soaking things and all that. I've tried it in the past. I just don't enjoy it. And I feel like that is something that takes me out of the so-called rhythm that I have down here of trying to get other things done. If I had that, just adding an extra thing of, oh, I got to go check on this or check on that, I end up, losing track of what I'm doing. So I end up leaving all projects behind. If I can't take it from wherever I pick it up, take it home, take a picture of it and get it listed, I usually leave it behind. Yeah,
for me, I'm about profits, not projects, pretty much these days, because I'm in Florida, man. There's so much inventory for me to source down here. I can just go any day of the week and go sourcing and just find new stuff. So for me, if it's anything that has issues like that, now I will say the only thing I will wash is like if I buy a big lot of clothing, I'll throw them in a garbage bag and I'll keep them in my garage or my like warehouse area. And stuff that needs to be like if I get concert shirts or some vintage clothing, like I'll just throw them in a thing. And then once I get a whole bag, I'll wash those because I'm going to put those up. But that's like the most I'll do when it comes to that stuff. So yeah, I'm not really worried about that. I know everyone's had situations with bugs in the past at one point in time, digging through boxes or you find it places, but it's just part of the business, unfortunately.
Not like friggin' bed bugs. Like, I mean, okay, so I just looked. I've sold 21,000 items. You want to know how many times I've seen bed bugs? 0. I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to go, like if I walked in somewhere and it was absolutely disgusting, I'm going to turn around and walk back out. Some of our thrift stores wash and dry stuff here, and it's so cool because you walk in and it smells like laundry soap, and I'm like, yeah. Not many of them. It's not the majority, but we do have a couple that wash and dry the clothes. I wouldn't be buying stuff. Could it happen? Yes. Am I going to worry about 21,000 items in 5? No. Do you know how much time that would? No. Now I buy lots. So if it's stained, if it has an odor, if it's dirty and I bought it in an online auction lot, yes, I'm going to wash it. I'm not going to sell something I feel is dirty.
Yeah.
I will wash it. Am I worried about bugs? No, I'm not worried about bugs. I just can't imagine so LaDonna's saying most have to spray textiles by law. Not us, the thrift stores. I know I've seen tags on them, and I don't think Florida does. I think when I went to Alabama, they had tags on them. I think Alabama requires it. But like they're saying, like people donate from their closet, not from the dirty clothes hamper, right? Like it's stuff they haven't worn. I'm not worrying about it. That's my bottom line. I'm not. And I mean, if you want to do it, that's like my philosophy in life, though. I could worry about all kinds of crap. And I don't want to waste the energy on it.
Sometimes I look at
Miss Linda said, what vintage brand?
We're seeing.
I'm just going to say it this way.
What? Go.
It's like this. If you buy something from like a store brand new, if you're the type of person to wash it, you're going to wash a shirt that you received from eBay. So
very true. All right, what vintage brand of hats are Bolo, and what works best for cleaning foam from a trucker hat? Cernoch, this is right down your alley. So what's the best brands? Question 1, what are the Bolo brands?
These are all answered on my page, Cernoch's Connection on YouTube, when I actually did videos. But just to give you a quick okay, so there's different types of hats. Sports hats. We're just talking about sports hats right now. Sports specialties. Just look up sports specialties, Logo 7, Logo Athletic, and look up the different designs. Just type. Here's a good way on eBay. Just put in sports specialties hat and look at sold. Look at highest to lowest, and just go okay, and just take a mental note of all those designs and hats and what their names are. That's how I do the research. If you're asking these, go ahead. Okay, same thing with trucker hats. You can see type in vintage trucker hat in the eBay, hit search, filter it for solds, go high, sort it from highest to lowest, and just go, all right, let me lock in. Oh, look at all these 3-striper hats. Look at Mountain Dew hats. Look at Pepsi hats. Look at these different trucker hats. All different styles. Those are the things that you're looking at, and that's the best way to do research on a lot of this stuff. Is just seeing what's selling, and that's you just take a mental note of if I see a shark tooth hat because I looked at the hat and said, why that hat sell for $400? Oh, because it's a shark tooth, hockey hat for the whatever team. Okay, cool. I'm gonna remember the brand and what that was called. So there's a lot of different, avenues with hats, but that technique can be used across the line of clothing, say jeans, women's jeans, shoes, boots, all those different type of niches. Say you go to your thrift shop and man, the clothing's expensive, but they don't care about boots for some reason. All right. And you can get boots for $5 any day of the week. Okay. I'm just doing hypotheticals. If you can get boots at $5, wouldn't you look up what cowboy boots, work boots, whatever kind of boot style on eBay? Boom, you flip it. Like I said, boom. All right. Here's my brands. This one keeps showing up. Red Wing boots must be a hot seller if they're constantly selling pre-owned at $150. So it's all those things that you're just doing the research and remembering and thinking and putting that into your repertoire. So when you do go buy those items, all right, boom. Hey, I know, cowboy boots. Okay, Durango. If I'm buying it at $5, I can still sell those for $40. That's in my price range. I want to do that. Bam, bam, bam. And you just go from there. I don't know.
I'm not too familiar with actual brands at all, but some of the I think most people will be able to go in there as soon as you pick up something that's vintage. You kind of feel it. You kind of feel that this is, older, or it's made different, or you just haven't seen a lot of them. You know what I mean? So a lot of the hats that I have sold in the past, it hasn't been many, they have been sports hats, just because I haven't seen that kind of hat around, or you know what I mean, or you're just picking up sports teams from your area. You'll be able to tell, everybody has the same Phillies hat, but this one looks a little bit different, or everybody has this, Philadelphia Flyers hat, but this one has, lightning bolts on it, or like you said, the shark tooth thing, or anything like that. You'll be able to tell, you'll be able to feel vintage, I should say, when you pick something up.
Yeah, so going back to what Cernoch said about having you check on eBay sold comps and stuff like that, we all have a notepad on our phone. If you have an Android or you have an iPhone, what I would when I was starting to learn different things and starting to learn a new category, I would search from highest to lowest. And there's certain things in the hats. You want to look at the tag of the hat. You want to look at the brand of the hat. Certain style of the hat can sell better. Shark tooth hats, which then have little sharks across, looks like shark teeth going across of it. That's a good indication. So, knowing those style hats and those brand of hats, or the 3-stripe, you see 3 stripes on the side of the hat. That's another good indication of, hey, this is a hat I need to look up, or this hat could be, have a lot of value to it. Sir, what is the best way to clean the foam though from the inside of the hats, trucker hats?
To remove.
Don't you have a video?
Yeah, don't you have
a video? Yeah, to remove it.
Well, they just as clean it. You just take a vacuum to it, don't you?
Yeah, just a butter knife.
Vacuum it out.
Yeah,
vacuum it out. Now on my Instagram, I have so I have a project that I've just put on hold forever. I can refoam hats. Okay, that from the outside look great. When you look on the inside, it's just unfinished. And I have the idea. I haven't had time to execute it yet. But I have a pattern that I can make to put into hats that will reshape them, and you can steam it in, and basically it's like iron on. It's like a transfer.
Like reforms it.
Will reform it. Yeah.
I'll add your Instagram to the chat there, guys. If you guys want to go follow him on Instagram, I just added the link, so give him a follow.
Yeah. So
and I want to say what everybody said is my research videos, which have been my top videos on YouTube for over 3 years, that I love to do because I get to learn along with you. But anybody can do that. Like Chris was saying, like, whatever you have in your area, look for it. So for me, what I do, and a lot of like what I do research videos on, like I might have found something by accident or in an auction lot that I had no clue was worth money, but I researched it and then I'm like, like I need to look up the rest of this so I know what to look for when I'm out. I do have, I think, 1 or 2 research videos on hats if you want to go look. Because I love buying hat lots. I will say like the farmer hats, especially if you're in the Midwest, the John Deere. And I've done well with like old promotional hats. It doesn't even have to be an old company. Like if you keyword it well and it looks cool, it'll sell. I just sold a hat, I think for $70 that was like a no-name company, and it took 2 years, but it sold for $70 and I paid $1. I don't care. So yeah, but with hats, if I think they're good for $1, I pick them up. And it's funny because my styrofoam head's back there, but you can't see it because it's white. Dalton wanted to color on it, or he's like, Mom, do we need that styrofoam head? I'm like, yes, we need the styrofoam head. So Rod put Chris's Instagram in there. Definitely check that out. And Todd, please don't kill me. I saw it and then I totally let it slip my mind. This was almost an hour ago. I'm so sorry. Todd wants to know, how are your goals for 2025 coming along?
I mean, my goals are like pretty simple. Just keep taking care of the family, keep doing what I'm doing, keep having fun, just keep growing. I mean, all those things, those are my goals for this year. And it's like, it's rolling along, bro. School's out. Both my boys passed. Baseball's almost finished. My son went to state in wrestling. My other son went to state in science fair. It's like, it's going good. So, my business is going good. I'm enjoying myself. I'm really liking going to the flea markets more and more. So I'm developing a system there to where, and then even on some of these like longer yard crawls, instead of like shopping both days, I want to set up one day and then go shop, or shop and then set up shop on Friday and set up on Saturday then, so those are some things I'm kind of changing up that I want to get more into. Same thing with live selling too, especially with district. Us group of guys and ladies doing all this stuff for district, it's growing, and shoot. I mean, right, Rod? I think we've been
Divot. Yeah, between the Divot and then you're on Antiquity. Antiquity's doing really well. It's a new
Commons, Threads. I mean, all those we're selling in, and even the ones that I'm not selling in look like they're doing great. So that's something that I think it's a project for a bunch of us that I think is coming along nicely as well. So, yeah.
My goals I'm still working on. Like I said, one of the ones I had earlier was to get on more of a schedule. I'm not doing so good with that, but another goal I did have is get more organized. Doesn't look like it behind me, but the rest of my basement here, I spent a good 4 or 5 days just getting everything back to be organized. And the workspace that I have where I take my pictures and things like that, it would always stay cluttered. It would always stay, I would put, items that I didn't feel like listing, and they would be a pile of them there. Once I got rid of that, that also helped me with my burnout of reselling, is to have a good workspace and a good workflow. That's helped me a whole lot this year. It is a challenge for me to stay organized, but I make sure that I take a little bit of time, usually at the beginning of the week, because after the weekend or like a busy day of, 2 or 3 days of shipping, I do take some time to make sure I clean up my area. Once it's clean, I try to keep it clean for the rest of the week. But I find myself doing that more. Before, I used to let it get out of hand, and then I would hate coming down here because it would just be more of a work it would be work to set up to take pictures. And then it would be just, discouraging at that point. But now that I keep it clean, I've been doing good with that. So that was part of my goals at the beginning of the year, and to keep paying the kids' tuition. I have 2 boys in high school and one in grade. My daughter's in kindergarten. So there's a big age gap there, but the tuition's expensive for high school, and it's expensive for kindergarten. So I wanted to make sure I keep paying that. So I've been on track to do that. So it's all been
I know me and Kat will both say that we both, I think the last 2 years now, said that we're going to plan on buying storage units, and neither of us have done that. So that's one thing. But I will say this, like, the best way to describe my my goals for this year have evolved. Evolved is the proper term for that, because biggest thing with reselling is you're going to adapt and change as things get thrown your way, and the goals that you put in place may not even be considered by the end of the year, because you evolve into new goals because new opportunities arise. And I have really started to dig down on sports cards more and more and buying out collections and I wanted to buy storage units and other stuff. But man, it's like when things are there, like you just got to jump on what's there, and it's been a fun ride, and that has opened up more doors for me in other reselling and other events, and hopefully I'll have some really, really exciting stuff coming here in the near future, what I'm really excited about. But yeah, I would say, getting more organized is still on my plate, which I've been focusing more and more on. Still, Operation CSO has been ongoing for the last 2 years now. We're clearing, keep it PG-13, stuff out right now, trying to move as much stuff as possible. But yeah, no, things are good, man. I can't complain. Business has been good this year, I would say.
All right. Until Rod said that, I was going to tell you guys, I'm going to be totally honest and tell you, I don't even remember what my goals were. If you don't know, like last year was a hell of a year for me. I went through a divorce. I just had it was hell last year. There's no other word for my year last year. So at the beginning of the year, I was still like, it was very, very difficult. Going live more was one of our goals, which we just started the past 3 weeks. So we are getting that going. I have not done the storage units, but, and Rod knows this, today I told you guys I picked up tons of stuff. The guy told me that this was the largest order he had ever had in an online estate auction. I bought 84 lots, and it took hours to pull them. And what ended up, and I always say I don't do this because I am not the greatest about the whole building relationships thing. I know you guys, a lot of people probably find that hard to believe, but I'm just not overly successful at that. Just because a lot of time I'm like so business, I'm like, get my stuff and go. Like, I'm not great at the whole like BSing and like, yeah. Anyways, because we were pulling items together for hours, I'm like seeing all this stuff, and I knew I was the last one to pick up. He had 2-day pickup. I was the last one there. And I'm like, what's happening to all of this stuff that I see here? Like, was it not paid for? Was it not picked up? What's going on with this stuff? Because he couldn't find a couple of my lots, and he's like, here, take this lot. And I'm like, okay. Like, and it turns out that he didn't have somebody regular for cleanouts. And he's like, why, are you interested in cleanouts? I'm like, yeah, I am. Have I ever done? Nope, I haven't, but he doesn't need to know that. And so I'm going back Tuesday and getting everything in that house for free. We are going to be cleaning it out. And I will tell you, I saw lots in there that I got outbid on that were way more valuable than what I won. And now I'll be going back and getting it free. And now I'll be sure to message him every auction. Hey, don't forget, I'm willing to do a clean out if the family, doesn't want to keep this stuff. Because like this house today, he's like, I know they want to get this house on the market. Okay. I'm like, do I have to take the furniture? And he said, no. I said, even better. Now, would I have taken the furniture if I had to? Yeah, I would have figured it out. So we're getting all that stuff. And like I said, I know one piece that's worth $300 I got outbid on that is sitting in there on the floor. And I asked him, like, and this was the crazy thing to me. I said, do you block those bidders? Because these are all local auctions and they're all pickup only. There's no shipping. And he said, sometimes. It sounds like most of the time they don't. And like that to me, I'm like looking at that vase on the floor that I was willing to pay $60 for, that somebody bid 70, they didn't pay, and now he lost the money. I would be blocking every one of those suckers and you wouldn't be coming back. But he does it all by himself. And I'm like, dude, like, so he was overwhelmed. That's why he's like, here, take this lot, because he knew they weren't coming. So I got some extra stuff today and I'm getting the whole house. Karen's asking, what do I drive to pick up all those lots? It was an hour and 45 minutes from my house. So 3.5 hours round trip. And I will be bringing my employees with me. Hopefully, Elena's not in here tonight. Treasure Diva Thrifts. Marcia, share. Yes, house estate clean out after auctions. So this is stuff. Some of that stuff was probably paid for and people think they ship. But guess what? If they read, they don't. and it's in their contract, those people aren't getting their money back, and I'm going to get their stuff that they paid for. What kind of vehicle? Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to tell this really quick because it's getting near the end.
Yeah,
today was hell for me. That's the only way to describe today too. It was hell. I knew I bought too much to fit in my truck and I needed a trailer. I don't own a trailer. I reserved one on U-Haul. I go and the trailer lights would not work. So I'm like, okay. And mind you, I had like 2-hour span to get to this place. I'm like, okay, do you have a truck? He says, all I got's a 26-footer. I said, that's fine. I'll take it. I got to go get all this stuff. And I'll tell you, the auction guy called me because I had bought so much. He's like, are you coming today? Which they don't normally do. We get in there in the office and he says, I can't find the key for that truck. So here I am with the truck, not enough space. So I'm like, who can I call? Elena, Treasure Diva Thrifts, was at the vet with her cat. And I messaged Vicky and Bill. I don't know if they're in the chat tonight. And Vicky said, Bill will come with the truck. I said, okay, good. So I'm about 20 minutes out and Vicky messages, Kat, Bill got a flat tire. He can't come. I said, okay. And I'm like, this day just like nothing is going right. And Brooke's in the truck next to me, knowing she has to help me pack, like just sitting there. Okay. Like, this is my mom. And so I called my mom and said, Mom, please, please come with your car, please. And so she did. And so Brooke left me to come get Dalton from school because we were late at that point. My mom came, I filled up my car. We got the majority of the stuff, and then I made the deal for the buyout. Typically, I can fit it all in my truck, but I went a little overboard, which I am known to do. So, yeah. All right, I need to give Todd a super sticker. I'm going to do the kitty cat. Oh, we haven't done Rod. And Mark's not coming tonight, and he let me know. Obviously, it's late. So here's Rod for you, Todd.
Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time.
I didn't do it. All right. I have to give Sarah one too, guys. Sarah gifted 5 memberships to my channel. So thank you so much. So if you all of a sudden have a dolphin by your name, tell Sarah thank you because she bought it for you. And it's almost the first of the month. So we're going to have a lot coming up. Store reviews, live sourcing, and live shipping. And I get to play my sea turtle one, which I absolutely love, for Sarah. Karen wants to know, do you use security tamper resistant stickers? And if you do you have a brand that you recommend?
No.
I don't either.
I don't, but I know people that do. They buy them off Amazon, and what they do is they put it on the back of their electronic devices so that way if they do sell something, people can't swap them out with the broken ones. That's the reason why people do it. And just make sure you take a picture of the tamper one in your listing. So when you get it back, then you know that's the legit item that you sold.
Yeah. And I've seen, and I don't think it's true. Somebody tell me, do you think it's true? I've seen some, I think it was like the shop Goodwill that put like, this package has a tracking device or something. So people couldn't like claim they didn't get it. Have you ever seen those stickers, Rod?
No.
I got it on like 3 packages. I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, I don't know if it's to discourage the postal worker. I don't know who they're trying to discourage from doing what, but I highly doubt that the package has a tracking device in it, but they said it did.
Huh.
All right. I don't know who this is. No, I do not want you to name them, please. Teresa was watching another YouTuber, said he sold an item. eBay put it on hold until Friday, like layaway. Have you heard of this?
No.
No.
No. I have not.
I don't understand what they mean by put it on layaway. Like they removed it off eBay and waiting for the person to buy it. Like,
which is crazy because I got an offer. I was so happy. I sent Rod. I like told everybody I sold a train horn for $1,150 yesterday, right? And I'm like, yeah. And then I go and click on it and it says buyer's payment could not be processed. This item will still be available for sale until they pay, which is nice because it didn't get pulled down, even though I accepted the offer. It was marked as sold, but payment not immediate, 4-day payment option. I have never heard of that, ever.
I've heard of it but they always keep that item available. They never take it away. Like if you accept an offer, if someone sends you an offer and you accept it,
They have 4 days to pay, but it's still available. And if
still
somebody doesn't
available
meet
for
it,
somebody.
it goes to them.
Yeah, there's been times that I've taken an offer of less money, and before that buyer has paid, it's sold at regular price because the buyer waited. The original buyer that sent that offer waited, hours or days to pay for it. But it's always stayed available. It's never been taken down.
Yeah, and I wonder, like, I can't see it being taken down without payment. Like, right. I can't see that.
All right, so I have noticed for international buyers,
maybe that's what
they have 4 days to pay, like it used to do.
Oh, and it'll pull down,
and it will pull down.
Okay,
I have had multiple international buyers not pay for theirs, and then that's the only one, and then it'll go to that. Now, when you I used to. I'm trying to remember how it goes. If I send an offer out and they accept it, they have to pay right away. Okay? But if they send a counter offer and I accept, it will hold it until that person pays. Does that make sense? So those are the instances you may see that.
So there are a few, but not for U.S. buyers.
The first one was for international buyers. The second one is if someone sends you a counter offer and you accept.
Oh, because you accepted, not them.
Yeah. If I accept it, it doesn't automatically pull it from them. They have to pay for it, but it will still have it available. Someone can sneak in and pay for another offer you had, the original offer you had sent to them, not the counter offer the other guy sent, but the other offer that was sent to the multiple people. Someone could pay that and trump the guy that counter offered, even though I accepted it. He has time to pay.
Whoever pays first is who gets it.
And I think you have 4 days to pay in a counter offer situation, but someone can come in and counter offer or pay for the offer, if that makes sense.
Oh, here's an interesting question. So Liz said they're stopping making pennies next year. So since we aren't accepting cash, do you think it will affect us? That she said it's definitely gonna change the way retailers pricing. I don't know if it will though, because like with tax and stuff, like that 99 doesn't end up 99 cents. It's like $1.07 or whatever. So it still has pennies on it. And taxes change by the county too.
Yeah. I don't know.
And now without the pennies, they're just going to round up to the nearest nickel. So you have some, if you have something at, 82 cents or something and it's going to be 85 cents is what you're going to have to pay for it.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, last question.
There you go. Someone says pennies will still be in circulation. They're just not making anymore.
So Marcia said that.
Die out then. Yeah.
That'll take a long time. Yeah. Kenneth asked, do you think a new seller should discount their prices?
What? Can we get more specific on that?
I would say I would answer if initially listing, like what's your thought on like if they're just listing, do you think they should go lower than like the average?
I can tell you my story for when I first started reselling. I had an account that I used for buying. I was always a shopper on there. But when I started selling, for whatever reason, I made a new account for it. I don't remember the reason of why I did it or whatever, but I remember getting when I first started, I would get all the, contact me at this number and try to do everything off of eBay, like all these like scam type things. And then I was watching some YouTube videos back when I first started and all that. And then people were talking about to get your sales and your your feedback number up, try to, buy some things, or if you are going to sell, try to sell things that are going to sell fast and whatever. I remember going in there and selling sports jerseys and a couple other, different things that I was selling, video games and stuff like that. And I would price them real lower than, the average price, just to get those sales and try to get my feedback above, being a new reseller, to stop the scam emails and everything else that were coming in. So I did that in the beginning only for that reason. It's just because I had such a low feedback number that I wanted to get past a certain point. So that's the reason why I did it. I don't know if that answers the question or not.
Yeah, so when you're first starting out, I mean, I would recommend a brand new sale. Go and buy a ton of stuff on eBay,
Right.
like 99 items, free shipping, stuff like that, to get all that feedback. Buy it from multiple different sellers, because as a seller, buyers feel more comfortable if you have at least double digits, I would say, compared to having a 0 behind your name. Because a lot of people get afraid of scams and everything else, even though you have buyer and seller protection on eBay. I would say as a new seller, I would list my stuff at market value or slightly below, because if I'm starting out, the most important thing is cash flow, and I want to have cash flow coming in. So I would even potentially list mine below what other people have on there just in the beginning, because if I'm starting out, I know that the items I need to get that cash flow coming back in so I can go buy and replenish my inventory. So that's the reason I'm going to take the context of that process of keeping the cash flow coming in. So I would list mine very competitive or slightly below, or discount my pricing, be very aggressive with that in the very beginning. That's probably if I was starting reselling all over again, that's how I would start out, real aggressive with my pricing to keep the cash flow coming in, because once I have the cash flow coming in, I can buy more and more inventory or bigger lots of inventory.
Yeah, and I see a lot of people in the chat, and kind of like I kind of flip flop on it, because no, I don't want the whole race to the bottom, right? Yeah. Which, if there's a bunch of people and somebody's going $1 lower and then going $1 lower, and then that's where you bottom it out. But I have went. Like I'm not new. I want mine to be the lowest. I'm not going to go like super low. I might go only 50 cents lower than them. But if I don't have much in it, I'm going to beat it. But then somebody asked me, cause I talked about in the videos, I'm selling a lot of stuff at like 50 to 60% off now, cause I've had them a long time. And they're like, why are you saying get over yourself? And that's because I researched it. I took the time. I know what it sells for. So for me to lower it that much, like, I don't want to lower the value, like the overall value of it. And I don't look at listed prices at all. I look at solds. So I might, everybody might be, now if it's a high dollar item and only 2 have sold and 1's listed, I'm going to look at that. But if it's, 50, 100 items, I'm looking at what they sold for. And I'm going to go with the average of what they sold for versus what they're listed for. And I might be way lower than what they're listed for, but those people might have not done their research and think they can get more. And I know it's only selling for $20, not $25. So am I going to come and list it for 20? Yeah, I'm going to, because that's what it friggin' sells for. I'm not going to be the one trying to raise it when it has a consistent, pattern showing it sold at $20. And there's a ton of them available. I know people are willing to pay 20. I'm going to price it 20. So do I think you should do it a lot? No. A little bit to be the lowest. Yeah, I would. But again, it's kind of like I'm going to tell people too, I don't want everybody to drive the prices down. If there's a ton and everybody's going $1 lower, somebody's going to be at 99 cents and making no money, so you can't do that. It's a hard question. All right. I'm going to answer this because this is me really quick. Do I miss working as a nurse? She said she's a nurse and reseller. Loves it. I miss my patients. I love taking care of people, but I kind of get that same feeling on here teaching people. They're learning from me. So overall, absolutely not. I don't miss the stress. I don't miss being short-staffed. I don't miss being not able to take care of people like I should because there's not enough people. And I have plenty of friends that are nurses, and I hear that it's the same and worse. And so I hear them complaining, and I'm like, oh, I'm glad I'm not doing that anymore. So overall, the answer is no. And I'm home with Dalton more, which was the main reason for me doing it. All right, I'm going to make Chris and Joe big so they can tell you guys bye, tell you again where to find them, and when their next podcast will be so you can go watch them. And then Rod and I will tell you as well. So here's Chris.
Hey, thank y'all for joining us this evening. Chris from Charks Connection, member of the Reseller Information Network. We go live. We went live today. So every Tuesday from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. And then I'm on the on District on the Dibdit umbrella. I'm selling in threads and we're selling in commons. We're selling live on there all the time.
Antiquity.
So check us out. And yeah, that's what we're doing.
Perfect. Here's Joe.
Thanks for all the great questions tonight. Kat and Rod, thanks for having me on again. You can find me over at the Reseller Leftovers podcast. The link was dropped in the chat by Red Cardinal a few times. Thank you for doing that. That's where you can find me. We put in a new episode on Wednesday mornings. I think it comes out 9:30. And thanks again for having us on.
Perfect. Rod, what's going on?
I dropped a brand new video on my picking punting channel. So last week I was unable to. My wife got hurt at work, so we had some other things going on there. And so guys, go watch that video after this. I will be live tomorrow night on Dibit Cards. We're doing a football break. So if you guys are interested, if you guys aren't familiar with that is we have a couple $100 worth of product and you can go bid on your favorite team and get in for $2-3. And I open up all the packs on camera and you get whatever cards of your team that come out of there. Tim pulled a $300 insert autograph card about a couple weeks ago. So it's a lot of fun. So check that out. And then I'll have a new card video on Friday. And then you can find me on Dibit Threads, Antiquity on there, pretty much the whole Dibit network. So I'd love it selling live over there in District. It's awesome.
Yeah, so tomorrow morning, guys, Whatnot, 10:45 a.m., we are doing our first Sterling Silver show since coming back live. So Sterling Silver with low starts from a really good estate buy. So go bookmark that now over on Whatnot. It will be Shannon. It will not be me. I feel like this whole week is just like chaotic because it's Dalton's last week of school. Hopefully I'll have a catch treasure hunting video out for you tomorrow. I know I will have my nurse flipper video out for you guys tomorrow. And watch next week because this auction buy I got, and then we're doing the clean out. I'm going to offer this stuff all at $3 and it's going to have value. So if you need inventory, watch it. A lot. There's clown stuff, which I'm like so controversial. I do not like clowns, but I know some people like clowns. I think clowns are a little creepy, but we have clown stuff. We have a lot of religious stuff, a lot of fairy stuff. So this house was a hoarder house. Okay. It was their third sale and the amount of stuff still in the house is insane. So, and that will be me next week. Shannon is on vacation next week. So we'll be doing lives next week. So watch for that. And yeah, thank you guys. Chris, Joe, Rod, thank you for coming on. To all of you in chat, we cannot do it without you. Next week, we will have Angie and Kristen on with us. So it will be Rod with 3 girls. It has been me and 3 guys, like repeatedly. We will have girls next week. So I appreciate you guys coming. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Please.